And we are live. What's going on, art enthusiasts and change makers? This is another week of Art for Change podcast, Soulful Sundays edition. And I am your host, Mr. Sapiosexual. And I got Mad Hatter Marshall in the building with me tonight. What's going on, Mad Hatter?
What's going on, gentlemen? How you doing?
Hey, man. Bless, brother. Bless, man. What you got going on this Soulful Sunday, my brother?
Relaxing. These weekends need to be extended a day.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Who said we only need two? I
The
think, I
two
think,
goes by too fast because you
yeah.
spend one day doing all your what you needed to do from all the week that you didn't do all week working, that you couldn't do all week working. So you spend one day doing that, the next day cleaning up, and then it's back to the square one again.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree that I think four tens is fine with me, and we can just be off Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
If you think about it, if you think about the way the old school structured was, if Saturday was running errands and everything, and Sunday was staying home cleaning and having dinner, like it's just with the today's life, it just don't you just can't work. It just don't work that way. You just
No.
can't do it that way. You need time for yourself, or else you're gonna go mad.
Yes. So I think everybody needs a little me time. No matter how much you love your loved ones, or your children, or your significant other. I think everybody could appreciate some one on one with themselves. You know what I mean? Especially to just decompress from the week, the day, saying the work, the stresses of daily life. So I agree with that. But it is Soulful Sundays, man. So we got some questions targeted around soulfulness. So how would you define a soulful artist, and what qualities do you think this artist embodies?
Somebody that bears out their emotions through their art,
Yeah.
somebody that hits their soul,
Yes.
somebody that when you listen to them, they make timeless music you can listen to timelessly at no matter at any age that will live on. Like, and I think there's not enough soulful artists because not enough today's music is not gonna be timeless music. You will not be hearing it in. You're lucky if you hear it in 2 years. Never mind five.
I agree with you. Do you think who are some soulful artists you can think of, like just out the top of your mind when you hear soulful artists? Who comes to mind?
Marvin Gaye,
Mm, yes,
Bob Seger.
yes. Okay, that's real. That's some real soulful music right there. You know what I mean? For a long time, people didn't even know what he looked like.
Jim Croce would be another person that I was raised on.
Yeah, man, some soulful guys. I mean, if you want to think real soulful, we can go with like BB King. You know what I mean? Nate King Cole. If you want to get some real soulful artists.
Oh, don't forget the ladies now. Aretha Franklin,
Yeah. Soul, Miss Queen of Soul. You know what I mean? She held that title for a long time. Shaka Khan, she's in there.
Pat Benatar could probably be up there, or Janis Joplin. Nah, not really Janis Joplin, but maybe Pat Benatar,
Uh,
or Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks. I put Patti LaBelle in there. I put Patti in there. Um, even some rock and roll artists were soulful. Aerosmith. mm, I mean, I could, what I mean, I know some soulful artists. So why do you think that that's not irrelevant today, man? Why do you think like because all the artists we named, we didn't name nobody today's time. Who do you think is a soulful artist for today?
Nas.
Nas.
But are we really? Is that really today? How recent of
Yeah,
today are we talking?
that's early '90s. But I mean, Nas still dropping music. Um, I think if you like R&B, the closest I feel like the closest soul artist we got today would be like a Ari Lennox, like I like Alex Riley.
Do you like John Mayer? John Mayer is a very soulful guy.
Yeah, John May's a very soulful guy. That August guy. Well, what is the guy that sing "Take Me to My Room" or Orlando? What is I'm a fry. Hold on, I don't want to mess my guy's name up, but he would probably be the newest um male soulful artist right now. Anthony Hamilton.
Yes.
We just lost one. Um, Angie Stone. She's a soulful artist. Jill Scott. Hold on, let me look at this guy's name up because I don't want to butcher his name, and I really like the guy. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Well, I look for the guy. You want to read question two?
Sure. In your opinion, what impact does soulful art have on the audience and society as a whole?
Like you said, when you hear like what's going on, a song like that, it resonates even though the song was made so long ago, it can even still resonate and put on the radio, and it can still resonate with what's going on to the day. And I think when music is soulful, when it's made something that is meant to feed the soul, I think that it is timeless, and I think that that resonates with everyone. And I think it brings everybody into a euphoric state of hopefulness, of optimism, and I believe that is the catalyst for soulful artists or soulful art in itself. And I believe that is the major impact that it has on communities. You want to
I like
rebuttal
that
that?
response. I like that response. But I want to get back to the timeless part.
Yes,
Okay. Let's say you hear something and it brings you back to a time and you can remember exactly what you were doing and what you brought to it.
yes.
Now, do we want it to bring us back to a good point in our life, or do we want it to bring us to a back into our life, a
Mm,
bad part in our life? What kind of soulful are we talking here?
right, right. I guess we would want to I guess we want to keep it positive. James Brown was a good soulful artist. You know what I mean? And a lot of his music was about bringing awareness to a lot of things, and he did it through music. You know what I mean? Like even him one of his famous songs. This may be a man's world, but it's nothing but about a woman or a girl. You know what I mean? He made a lot of songs that that affected, or not so much affected, but the people who the music was made for appreciated because they were being affected by the things that were going on that he brought to the light in the music.
I like how you said that because you can say that Kurt Cobain and Lane Staley were soulful artists
Yes,
from Nirvana and Alice in Chains.
yes,
Those were very soulful guys that really brought you to a place in their life that really brought you somewhere and made you feel something like, wow, okay, like, holy shit.
yes. Yes, I agree with you. October London was the artist that I was referring to. Um, he is probably the new king for the soulful artists as far as the males. He gave you that old school 80s, 90s, early 90s, late 70s type of vibe when you listen to his music. Um, So shouts out to you, October London. You know what I'm saying?
And also, I think with soulful music comes some type of soulful sound.
Yeah,
It's not just lyrics, but it's like a guitar singing or like some bass line or some piano melody that sits with you as well that you can always remember or something like that.
yes. Even the melodies. When something is soulful, just the first couple of tunes, when you hear the beat, you know what that is. You know, when you listen to Frank and Beverly, when you hear the first couple first couple of tunes of any of his music, you're like, oh yeah, baby, it's time to party now. You know, even some of Luther Vandross's earlier music. You know, so yeah, man, Freddie Jackson. These were soulful guys. Jam tonight. People put that on and get right up. Isley Brothers. Come on now. A lot of they
Creedence
sound.
Clearwater Revival is another soulful band. America, Bread, a couple another classic ones. I can't hear you. We seem to be having some type of technical difficulties.
You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Um, when we talk about a soulful artist and making the instruments sing, I mean Jimi Hendrix.
Yes. Another you BB King, he could make his guitar sing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It ain't too many touching BB King with a guitar. Uh,
Joe Satriani.
man, listen, it could go on, man. So why do you think we don't see so many guys are doing that now, or females?
What, making soulful music?
Yes, sir.
Or I think they're making it. I just don't think it's being marketed.
Ooh. So why you don't think it's being marketed? Is the real question, huh?
Because soulful music doesn't make you want to go to the club and shake your booty.
Speak on it. And because it don't make you want to shake your ass, it's not. It doesn't seem to sell well. Is that what you would get to for as
It
far as the
doesn't go to the. It
executives?
doesn't make you want to go to the club and have a good time and while out and spend bottles and regret life later.
Right, right. For people
That
who are not artists,
it makes music to listen to later for when you're regretting life.
respect, respect. So, for those who are not artists, how do you think that they can appreciate and engage with soulful art in their daily lives?
Hold on, can you say that one more time? I was still thinking about something from the last question.
Yeah, no problem. I said for people that are not artists, how do you think that they can appreciate and engage with like soulful art in their daily lives? Someone who
Slowing
go
down
ahead.
and taking everything in, not being in a rush all the time,
Yeah,
accepting things for the way they are, knowing that every day is going to have 24 hours, no matter how fast you try to get everything done and get everything accomplished, that day is going to be 24 hours and the next day's coming, whether you like it or fucking not. So everything's going to come eventually. You can rush to get everything done that day to get you that day done. So you can, but just know the next day is coming, whether you like it or not. Time is not stopping.
Yeah.
So you have to take the time to appreciate what's right in front of you.
I think soulfulness and art is a part of our culture. Um, and I think that whenever you, for some person who is not an artist, I think just the ability to learn a different culture, a different understanding, a different perspective would allow you to be able to appreciate soulfulness and soulful art in its fullness, even though you may not be an artist per se. Um, if I had to answer that question, uh, we're gonna move right along. How do you think the pressure of modern day art or the modern day industry influence an artist's ability to want to be themselves and authentic?
I don't think there's many people that are themselves.
Right.
How many people you can look at and say they're like this person or they're like that person or they're like this person or they're but like that one or this one looks like that one who looks like that one who looks like this one who might be related to this one who might be related to that one who might be related to that one because all of them the cheekbones are the same. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's a formula.
It is a formula. So do you think the mainstream media has took away the essence of like authenticity?
I think people try to be authentic, authentic, but there's a lot of faking in their authenticity.
Yes, yes, I agree with that. I feel like
They're doing
artists have,
it. They're doing it because of somebody else's influence. So
yes,
you can sit there and say, I'm being myself because this person is being their self." That's not
right.
being yourself because this person is doing it.
Right, right. I think it's even deeper than that. I think most of these industries, and most of the major industry, once you get your record deal or your 360 deal, I think you have a certain the record labels or the executives of those companies have a certain image that they want to portray during that time that may be that benefits the market. And I think that you have to the artist, if you want to be on this label, you have to um, abide by these guidelines to look and act a certain way to target the market, should I say? So I think some artists may not be a certain way, but they have to be a certain way on camera to fulfill their obligations to their record labels or deals that they have, contracts that they may have. So I think that can take away from authenticity. I think that can remove somebody from being who they are off camera versus who they are when they're in the lights, camera, actions on, and anything is getting pushed to the media.
I think you're exactly right. I think that controls a lot of things. I
Yeah.
think the fact that they because I think people get too much with the fact that they are an artist and they do have a personal life, and the society doesn't know how to separate one from the other. So they end
Hmm.
up being the artist their whole time,
Hmm.
and they're treated like the artist. So they need all the artist things. They need the security because they're going to get mauled everywhere they go and everything. They're going to get surrounded by paparazzi and get their photograph leaving in sweatpants and slippers somewhere and saying,
Yeah.
"Oh," and getting some stupid headline like, "Is he out of shape? Does he need the gym?" Or it's like just to bash him just for the fuck's sake
Yeah.
of it.
So you're saying having a good PR team is good, but you wouldn't say you would necessarily need a record label or a major distribution label? Do you think independent artist is the best way to be authentic versus you don't have to,
I think it all depends on your management.
mm, I agree. I
If you
agree.
if you can find a management and a label that found you like when you were nothing and they're like trying to build something and they're trying to build it with you and everything, like small, like a lot of these companies were building up as some, like Loud Records was building up as Wu-Tang was building and everything. Loud Records
Right.
was looking to build, and we signed Wu-Tang and exploded and everything from there. So
Like a Diddy and Biggie situation when he created Bad Boy.
exactly.
Right. Right. So do you think the artists should have their own following, their own brand before coming to a label? That way they don't have to switch so much up of who they are, of their own identity. What are some ways do you think an artist could keep their integrity while working in the commercial field of media?
I don't know. I haven't been to the commercial field, so I can't tell you exactly how it should be done.
Right.
I can't change what I don't know yet.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I agree with that. Um, so if you were a manager and you had a soulful artist, what avenues would you say that you would want to take for your artist to keep their integrity?
Make sure he's got a solid team around him, a solid, stable, a solid, stable like group around him. Because the most tortured artists are some of the best artists, but they're also the most hurting inside.
Right. Being that soulful art and soulful music really, touches us on the inside and really like, helps us with our mentals in some aspects. Um, what ways do you think the decisions or discussions could be held to talk about how soulful art can contribute to, broader conversations like mental health and wellness and well-being?
There's well, Kendrick's hitting on a lot of stuff right now. YG just released 2004.
For yes, he did.
I think that's hit you straight to your go straight to your soul. Like holy shit! I
Yes, sir.
think I think some more. I think some more straight truth, no bullshitting around facts would help a lot of people instead of beating
Yes,
around the bush.
yes. I think I agree with you, man. And I think somebody
Everybody's
who
hard. Everybody's hard except they're not hard to the facts.
hmm, and there's a lot of facts in soulfulness. You know what I mean? There's a lot of facts in soulful art, like soulful expression. Like even when you see graffitis downtown that is giving off a soulful expression, you know what I mean? Like it makes you stop and reflect. Um, like I mean, like they put the Black Lives Matters around the little market house downtown. Um, and to certain communities, that made a huge impact because it made them feel seen. Because the significance of the market house in Fayetteville, North Carolina, is that the market house used to sell slaves. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They painted, Black Lives Matter around the market house, in downtown as like a mural uh, for downtown Fayetteville, and a lot of people came and seen it, and a lot of people were impacted by it. And when the decision was to move it, a lot of people again f- felt a certain way by it. But you have a large group of people who are not black, and they feel like left out. But then you got the history behind the significance of the story, where is why the Black Lives Matter was created in the first place. But when you look at the people who are benefiting behind the movement, they don't really have no significance in actually pushing the black agenda forward.
no, they're just a Madison Avenue made up marketing area. Madison Avenue marketing trip. Yeah, Madison Avenue design. I can't. There's got to be something coming after that Madison Avenue idea thing. It's just not coming to me right now.
he said, I'm working on it a little bit. And I'll get back with y'all. we'll bring that up on another topic. On another day. How do you think the role in technology is shaping the expression of soulful arts?
Okay, now we were talking about this in the text earlier. Now there's gaming computers.
Yes.
There's PC computers, personal computers. There's there's Macs that are designed for, I'm guessing, more the art community, if it may be correct. I'm not I'm guessing that
Yeah.
would be more towards the art side. And then you
Yeah.
have
They got the
the
digital art now. Yes,
the
sir.
I think Macs are based around more the art. So I think that technology is starting to be okay with the fact that art and technology can both be hand in hand and not be something that, well, that can be futurized, because
Mm.
art and technology has always gone hand in hand, because they were using chisels and hammers back in the day and everything, and a hammer and a chisel at some day was technology, whether you
Yes.
want to believe it or not. At some point in some time in life, a hammer and a chisel was technology.
Right. Right. I agree with that, man. I think technology is playing a huge part in art because, like we just said, we got the graphic design is taking off, digital art is taking off. You got all this CGI and all these of new forms of art, green screening and things of that nature. Um, so I believe that technology is playing a huge part in art, soulful art as well, just because now you get the digital expressions. You can have your own pop
Yes,
up.
but
You can have your own pop up gallery and online galleries and everything.
to go against technology, have you seen some of these CGI movies?
Yes, yes.
Some of them are awful.
Some of them look extremely fake. Yes, but some of them do look very like you. The high end ones, that shit look believable though. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like when you look at movies like Godzilla or when you look at the avatars, um, those are very good artistic expressions of digital art. Um,
You know what Avatar is about, right?
Speak on it, brother.
It's basically the story of John Smith and Pocahontas.
Hmm.
It's
How about that
basically
shit?
it's basically the story of the colonist and coming across the Native Americans.
And wanting to take their land.
It's the whole story of the colonists taking over the Native Americans, and that's all Avatar is.
It look like gentrification, right? Well, and then it's like they going in there because they need the diamond up under the tree. The deposits of is worth a whole lot of money, right? It's better than
Exactly.
gold. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. I feel like it's a lot of things is put in the movies, especially kid movies. Um, and it has a lot of underlying meanings in kids movies. Um, that is not portrayed out in the open. And if you don't go watch it with your kid, you never see it and never understand it. But as soon as you are an adult, like even kids, even movies that I watch, not to take us off topic too much, but even movies that I've watched as a kid, when I watch those movies as an adult, I pick up a lot more things in that movie that I did not see or realize in a child mind.
Oh, I
So
do the same thing.
I was like, oh my goodness, this shit was in this whole time. Like, yeah. Like how I didn't notice it as a kid, but as a kid, we're not trained to think the same way that we think when our frontal lobe is fully developed. You know,
And it makes you wonder how they're making you believe that kid. Wait, I don't want to go off topic. I'm just gonna stop before we go too far off topic.
what advice would you give an aspiring artist that is looking to find a unique voice in the crowd in a crowded market? What would your advice be to someone, man, who's trying to find their own unique avenue in such a crowded space, saturated market, if you will?
Probably, if there's everybody's trying to be everybody else, all you can be is yourself.
All you can be is you.
If everybody's
It
trying to
be,
be, I hope he's watching and hearing this because he's gonna like this segment. He's gonna like this segment.
You're gonna like this part. All you gotta do is be you. Yeah. I mean, hey, that's me every day, baby. Yeah. I can hear him now.
Yes.
Now.
But if everybody's trying to be like somebody else or trying to be famous or trying to be this, portray this something or something like that, eventually you just have to give in to who you are and let the seeds fall as they will.
I agree. My advice to an aspiring artist trying to find their unique voice in a crowded market would just be to just piggyback off what Mad Hatter Marshall say and what BU would say if he was in the building today. Man, you really have to be yourself. No one knows your story but you. No one can tell Mad Hatter's story but Mad Hatter from his perspective. You know what I mean? No one can tell Mr. Sapiosexual's story but Mr. Sapiosexual from my perspective. So, and my story is unique, and what you don't, and whatever Mad Hatter has been through, whatever Mississippi Sexual has been through, other people uh, are able to resonate because they have been through some of the similar situations. And so now we are able to connect, and people may be going through this situation that we've already overcome. Now they can use our blueprint to overcome situations without going through the same obstacles that we went through. So your testimony is your unique voice. So use your testimony to spread your message in whatever artistic expression you have, whether you dance, whether you sing, whether you play an instrument, whether you write, you know what I'm saying, whatever way that you express your art, you know what I'm saying, whatever way you get that shit out, you know what I mean, that'd be my advice to you. Tell your story.
And if you're putting your blood, sweat, and tears in it, why not put your soul into it too?
Say so.
If you're putting your blood, sweat, and tears into it, why not put your soul into it too? You're putting everything else into it. Why not put your whole soul into it? You're putting everything else into it. Put your soul into it too. Put the soul of a man or the soul of a woman and put it into what you do. Make that your identity.
Yes, I love that. Make it your identity. If this is what you love to do, if art is what you love to do, and if you're trying to find your unique sound, your unique voice in your own way, your own lane, be authentically you. That shit is nobody else can do you better than you. You know what I mean? And that goes for all of us. You know, I think that is absolutely great advice. I couldn't have said it better. Um, how do you feel that art can serve as a tool for social change? Man,
Art will always serve as social change.
yes,
It's just whether or not people want to accept it or not. People are going to accept it depending on your fan base. So depending on if you're somebody else, if you're somebody like Beyonce or Taylor Swift, you're going to get a lot of backing because of social change, or you're gonna get you're gonna have a backing because of a fan base. Your
Yes.
fan base, and you have to. There also becomes a time if you become that big that you have to remember it is not you anymore. It's a whole entire fan base. It's a generation of people that look up to you and everything, and you got to start realizing, okay, am what I what I'm portraying, what I'm putting out. Do I want to be this? Do I want my fans listening to this, or am I doing this just to be to be the it person?
Right. I I agree with you. I feel like art has always, like you said, it been an expression or a way to express change, to bring about change. If you think about the earlier forms of art, from when uh, artists were painting in the cathedral of churches, and the imagery that they were trying to express. When you think about artists expressing themselves, and things that they was trying to overcome in music. When you think about um, the Roaring Twenties and the Harlem Renaissance era, and how their music was bringing about the change, and helping them battle the Great Depression that was to come. When you think about the Beatles, music they made that was transcending, and messages they had in their music. If you think about rap and NWA and Public Enemy, messages that they had in their music. I feel like music and art has always been um, a vehicle for social change, in my opinion, anyway.
I think I like that. In something you said in the middle, and I don't remember exactly where, but you brought up a point, and I just wanted to rebuttal on it. I
Yeah.
don't remember exactly what it was, but I did want to say I don't do it for the it factor. I do it for the shock value.
Yes. I like that. I like that. I think. I think. I think art gives you that space to be expressive. Art gives you that space to challenge change, if you will. You know what I mean? And you know that's is why.
If art gives you a way to express yourself, express yourself. Do, 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 do,
Yeah.
do. Okay. Anyway, but if art it gives you a way to express yourself, why not make it for change?
Why not make it for change? Art for change. You know, that's our whole thing here. You know, these are the artists up here talking about and bringing about change. You know, so I agree. I feel like if you're going to be in art and if you want to affect people, let it be about bringing a positive change. You know what I mean? I feel like once you create a certain following, I feel like you owe it to your followers to have something impactful, to have something meaningful. You know what I mean? People are always looking for hope and optimism. People are always looking for something to be inspired by. So be someone's inspiration if you want to be in the space of art. I feel like you owe it to the viewer, whoever is that viewer, whoever is that listener, whatever eye that you are captivating, whatever ears you are alluring. I think you owe it to the consumer to be something better than what they already see. I think it's a difference between being an artist and being someone who can sing, being someone who is a poet. I feel like I feel like there's different lanes of artistry, and I feel like there's a difference between the artist and the person who plays an instrument, or an artist and a singer, an artist and someone who can rap, an artist and someone who knows how to do poetry. You know, I feel like there's a difference between the two.
I think. Do you think an artist is a creative?
Yes, I think an artist is a creative. Absolutely.
Do you think all creatives are artists, or all artists are creatives?
I think all artists are creatives. And well, that can go hand in hand because I mean, if you're creating something, that's a form of art, isn't it? Whatever you create, and it stems from somewhere. It came from some idea. Uh, so I mean, even if you're creating the machinery, and if you created a vehicle, and if you created a design, a blueprint, that's still a form of art. And like when you hear them complete it after you created this, they call it that what? Oh man, that's a work of what?
Art.
So so I think so. I think all creatives are artists, and all artists are creatives. I think to be an artist is to create.
Okay. If that is true, then why was the automobile industry designed off of women? So are women art, or are women why are women being subjectified as art straight from the get go? Since cars were from the get go were designed from the curves of a woman.
Imagine that. Um, well, I mean, are we not a form of art too? Didn't God create us? It wouldn't. Isn't God the greatest creator? For people who believe in that. And then you got to think people sculpt us. People sculpt humans. Bodies and silhouettes have always been a form of art, especially if you go to England. Um, if you go to Europe, you'll see a lot of body sculpting. So I believe that bodies are a form of art. You got women who express themselves with body painting. You got women who sell their artistry by, selling their physiques and sell pictures of their body art. if you will, you know what I mean? That's a nice way to put it. So if you will, I feel like God is the greatest creator. So yes, we human bodies will be a form of art because we were created. We're someone's creation, whether you believe that or not.
So so we're more than just an instrument.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think I believe that everybody has some type of artistic expression. I think a lot of us may not have the confidence or courage to tap into it, or we may not even look at that as our artistic expression as an artistic expression. But I think all of us have some type of creativity amongst us about ourselves. I think God gave everyone some form of talent. Some of us multiple talents. Some of us are multifaceted, and others may only have one dominant talent, some one supreme talent, if you will. But I believe all of us have some. I feel like some of us may have to do some soul searching to tap into our creativity. But I feel like because was created by a creator, that allows us the ability to be creators as well.
What I, everybody's an artist. There's nothing better than walking by or driving by somebody's house that's got a manicured lawn and got a really nice lawn and going, wow, that looks nice, because that is a work of art.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? Landscaping, taking care of your yard is a form of artistry. Absolutely. Man, we can look at everything as art. You know what I mean? Interior decorating, is that not a form of art? You
Yes.
know what I mean? So yeah. So absolutely, yeah. You could go to somebody's house and they have a nice feng shui. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it feels good in here. It feels homey in here. Yeah. So I think, like I said, like we just to piggyback on what we were just saying. Like I feel like there's different forms of art, man. I think a lot of people just don't understand and don't appreciate art in this fullness because they may not look at art as what they doing as art. A interior designer may not consider herself an artist. You know what I mean? A landscaper may not consider herself an artist. But how could you not? Look at how you beautify someone's yard. If that ain't art, I don't know what is. I've
You
seen
brought
some. I've seen
something.
some.
You brought something dead from the dead back to life. How is that
Yeah.
not beautiful?
How is that not beautiful? Exactly. I agree with you, man. I agree with you, bro. So as fans of artists, what could we do to you know show more appreciation to the artists, the ones who are more authentic to their craft, ones that's not giving us this commercial, if you would say, bullshit.
Make yourself known.
Yeah, make yourself known. How does one make themselves known, man? How do you think they get noticed?
I don't know. I'm a nobody.
Man, listen, I ain't got all the answers. I ain't got all the answers, Sway. I ain't got all the answers, Sway. um, I think where we can make ourselves notice, man, is just you, we live in a world of social media. Um, so if you are really trying to make an impact, I would say, even if you're not a person who is social media savvy, you have to be able to get on these networks and these platforms and put your stuff out there, man. Whatever it is that you have, put it out there. You never know. To me, there's a saying that says you miss 100% of the shots that you do not take. You know what I mean? You never know. All it takes is one. You may have 100 videos that you put up every day of your content or whatever craft or whatever artistic expression that you have. You may put up 100 videos, 300 videos, and it be that 101 or that 305 video that someone seen and felt that you was just phenomenal in your craft, and then you skyrocket. Now you got 300 videos of content to show that this is not just a fluke. I've been this great. You know what I mean? So never be afraid to put your shit out there. People will need to hear it. The consumer wants your art, so put your shit out there.
to
Never be a.
rebu-
Go
but
ahead.
to go against your you miss 100,000. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
But if you're a dead eye, shooter, it's not good to be a killer.
I respect that. I respect that. I respect that. You know what I'm saying? Most of us ain't a lethal shooter. You know what I'm saying? Most of us ain't put it up and it's guaranteed a bucket. But you know what I mean? It is a guaranteed miss when you don't shoot. I always was told that failure is not failing, but failing is not trying. To me, not trying is failure. Not attempting is failure. To me, failing is not failure, but not trying is. Not attempting is. Not getting back up and trying again. That's failing. You know what I mean? We all fall. You know what I'm saying? It's all about how a man responds to the failure, or female respond to the failure. Nobody's going to get it right the first time. That's that's usually not the case. Some people are just have God given abilities and talents. You know what I mean, outside of our understanding. But all of us is not going to get it right the very first time. You know what I'm saying? But understand that from every loss is never a loss; is only a lesson. So we have to be able to learn our lesson within our losses.
I like that.
Yeah, yeah, man. I think that's the way everybody should look at life, optimistically. You know what I mean? Look at your cup half full and never half empty. So let me ask you, how do you envision
If
the
you,
future?
if you,
Go ahead.
I see. If you're optimistic, you're looking forward. If your glass is half full, you're looking
Yeah.
forward. If your glass is half empty, you're looking behind you. And I think you should always have your head behind, looking over your shoulder.
Yes, sir. I agree with you. You should always be looking forward. Hey, listen, ain't nothing
No,
behind
no,
us
no,
but the
no.
finishing.
You know, you missed what I said. You're missing what I'm saying.
Oh,
If
okay.
your
What you say?
glass is half full, you're always looking forward. If your glass
Right,
is half empty, you're always looking over your shoulder.
right.
I think you should always be looking over your shoulder.
You think you should always be looking over your shoulder?
Yes.
Elaborate on that. Oh,
I think you should always be watching what's behind you and what's everything. I don't think you should always be. I think you should always be watching about what's behind you. You should
hmm.
always be watching for what's creeping up behind you.
Huh. I respect that. I respect that. But if you are busy looking at things behind you, you may miss something that is coming right in front of you. So is it so basically you saying keep your head on a swivel.
Yes.
I like that. You know what I'm saying? Keep your head on a swivel, baby. At work, we call it 360 awareness. Um, there's a saying that we use in construction. It's called the 20-20-20. Every 20 minutes, you take 20 seconds to look 20 feet around you. So you know, and then we also use the 360 awareness. It means keep your head on the swivel. You always got
Yes.
to know what's going on around you. Absolutely, I agree with the swivel head on the swivel. I don't want to be looking too much in the rear view, but it is good to know that something may be creeping up. So let me go ahead and step on this gas. I agree with that. I agree with that. Um, you don't want nothing creeping up behind you. So I agree with that, man. We got a few words of association that we're gonna run through tonight. So um, I say a few words, and you just tell me what's the first thing that come to your mind when you hear these words. Sound good?
Good.
All right. Vulnerability.
Being vulnerable and having the ability to know you're vulnerable.
Yes, yes. I couldn't say that shit better myself. Vulnerability to me is to be open and expressive and um, being authentically you, being like almost naked with clothes on. To me, that's being vulnerable. Um, uh, productivity.
Producing. Hold on. Let me write this down. Give me 1 sec.
Yes, sir. While you write that down, productivity means to me is to be in a progression of forward movement. To be productive is as long as I'm getting something done and in a forward progressionness to me, that's productivity.
Performing a duty in a pro manner.
I love that. Woo, performing a duty in a pro manner. Not just any manner, in a pro manner. That is definitely being productive, baby. That's like what I tell the people at work when I was in the lead position. I was like, hey, look, bro, we professionals. You know what I mean? So yeah, yeah, I like that one. I like that. Um, soulful.
Lot emotional.
Mm,
Soulful for me is emotional.
yes, yes. It's most soulful to me is like an inner connection. You know what I mean? Something that connects to you um, on the inside. So I agree with that. All right. Ser- serendipity.
Serendipity.
Yeah.
Would spruce go with serendipity?
Which what now?
Would spruce be another word for serendipity?
Yeah.
I'd probably go
Could
with
you?
spruce then.
All right. Um, I think when I hear that, I think it's like being joyful about something that you knew was going to happen. Like I think a form of that would be like practicing for an audition, and you know you've been practicing very well, and you get up to the audition and you kill it, you know what I mean? And then you get that call back and they tell you like, oh, you were awesome and that you got it and that you're gonna be the lead person or whatever. Like, what I'm saying, that full fulfillment, like, yeah, that's that serendipity for me. Yeah. I think the last word for the night I would just let me think. I want to think of a good word to close it out. Last word for the night would be ooh, integrity.
Inner terms of agreement.
Inner terms of agreement. Hmm. I've always thought of integrity as, you know, doing the right thing when no one is looking.
Your inner
Um,
terms of, yeah, you have agreed for yourself. Your inner terms of agreement.
yeah, inner terms of agreement. I like that. The inner terms of agreement. The terms that you agree for yourself to the guidelines that you set for yourself, that boundaries that you set for yourself that you won't go without, go outside of. You know what I mean? That's your integrity. I like that. I like that, man. Yeah. And it's been a smooth ass Soulful Sunday tonight with man Adam Marshall. And yeah, man, I appreciate you being here with me tonight. And I appreciate the people viewing us and checking us out, man, vibing with us. Yeah. You guys can close a statement for the people, man.
Nope. Y'all have a good night.
All right,
Yeah.
man. Y'all be too blessed. Y'all be too blessed to be stressing. Don't let nothing or nobody kill your vibe. And most importantly, baby, art for change. Peace and love. And we out.